13th of July, Thursday, 25 past 10 a.m. In Australia. Here's my latest video blog. Thought I'd do something a little bit different today. I'm going to cover a variety of different things, and this is something I've noticed is that when you're in these little groups and you're in these little pockets where the community is actively investing into these crypto assets and actually having conversations, you tend to come across little gold nuggets of information, and just little things happen and occur, and so they give you these little moments of insight and clarity. And I think if you're not doing that, it's the same thing with knowledge. I think anyone that expands their understanding and perception of something, they tend to build a greater belief system or an understanding, and it allows them to make better decisions. And I think that can be applied to anything that we do in life. But not everyone has access to these opportunities. You know, they come and go, and I think that's the big world of information, and that's why we have so much division and so many issues in societies, because people just aren't showing the diligence to get the information for themselves and put them all in front of them, and work through it with a critical and logical process. You know, there's too much emotion. There's too much, I think, trust in mainstream regurgitated mindset, or the media, and we know all about that. Some people don't. They haven't actually woken up yet. But I'm not going to go into that right now. What I wanted to do is share with you some gold nuggets that I've come across in the last few days. Now, the first thing I'm just going to cover is EOS. Now, I'm invested in EOS. I don't get paid to do any of these videos on EOS. I just like it. I'm interested in it. I think it's going to be a game changer. It is going to be a game changer. It's not here to destroy or take over any of the other existing blockchains. I think they'll all have their place, and I've mentioned this before. Sony and Sanyo, the Adidas and Nike type of ideology. There's going to be multiple different brands, if you like. However, EOS just definitely does have a lot of things going for it in regards to speed, transaction and power, and the people who are behind it have got a lot of experience, and they've delivered before, and that's what I'm looking at, and that's what I suppose trust in, because at this particular moment in time, EOS is considered a concept or an idea. However, it is utilizing predetermined code from things like Bitshares and Steem, and obviously the team behind that have got enough experience to be able to bring this platform forward. I do believe that. Now, what I wanted to do is just share with you quickly what's happening with EOS, and some little gold nuggets that I've come across in the Telegram, which for anyone that's looking to invest in EOS or wants to know more about what all this means, definitely just get a grasp of what I'm about to share. Now, the first thing with EOS is that we're in period 12. Got 31 minutes to go. If you are on eosscan.io, I keep saying IOU or IU, AU, I'm used to the .au of Australia, so eosscan.io is where you can actually view the up-to-date periods of all the windows or the offerings for that particular 23-hour period. What you do need to do is refresh the page if you have had it open, because the price is not moving. Okay, but let's say, well, actually, let's do it. I'm going to refresh, and whoa, it's gone from 13 cents to $1 in not very long time. So period 12, it's at about $1 US at the moment. Now, in the last 12 windows, we've seen an average of around about $3 million, $4 million, and it has come down a little bit from the craziness of the first 3 or 4 or 5 days, or first week really, and we're looking at an average of around about $2. I haven't actually worked that out yet. If you're interested in investing, then you need to work these things out. However, you've got 100 days, you've got 200, 300 days to go. So what's going to happen, I think this is what I believe is going to happen. We're going to see that the windows are going to be fairly similar for a period to come, and then I truly do believe that EOS and the team, Block 1, they're going to release news. They're going to release some significant news. And I think what you'll also find is that EOS, and this is my instincts talking, I believe that they will launch it before the end of the ICO. Something like that. They're going to go, here it is, and they're going to deliver certain aspects of the platform, talk, smart contracts and particular code or opportunities for developers to come in. There's going to be a lot more solid framework for people to actually visualize and actually grasp, and that's going to increase the value of this entire ICO. That's what I would do if I was in business. When I've looked at this, I'd go, well, what are you going to do to maintain the hype, maintain the interest, maintain the the influx of capital investment and the attention? That's the key word, is attention. Well, you need to present news and development and pretty much prove that put your money where your mouth is and deliver on the goods. So I think anyone that is investing, be ready for that. Now, in saying that, I was in the Telegram group, and there was no doubt there was a little sneaky comment here, and I'm going to bring up this little window here. Okay, now a sneaky little comment here from Daniel Larimer, who's pretty much the heads and brains behind Bitshares and Steem and EOS, and he was talking about writing contracts for EOS, and he's developing arrangements with developers. So there's already developers showing interest in EOS, so that's happening. And he's also just said here, EOS tech is further along than many think. So in other words, he already has a lot of this in place. I mean, they've used a fork from Bitshares, and they're looking to improve it. I know they're looking to improve Bitshares as well. Obviously, that's a separate part of this whole big picture. Stan Larimer is involved in that, but there's no doubt there's going to be crossovers here, and they're going to look at maybe even bringing Bitshares over to EOS at some stage in the future. But that's speculation. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I did read a lot of discussion about how to make Bitshares better and how to bring it all into one. So that's a little sneaky from Daniel Larimer. Be prepared for EOS to dump some news along the way. So as an investor, that means the price probably go up. So that sort of seems to be the norm. So I'm going to close that window. There was some people not knowing, what EOS is all about. And it's funny with these Telegram groups, they come in and they go, oh, when's the price going up? What is this? What is it? People need to probably just go and do a little bit more, show a little bit more diligence and get onto these websites and actually look things up. And even Daniel Larimer, who's been very good at being in these Telegram groups, answering questions when he can. He has to be very patient because you end up repeating yourself. But he says here, our white paper says exactly what the software uses the tokens for, because there was a lot of discussion about how the ERC20 token would be used, and it's got to do with storage and power. And look at it as an element of the workings of EOS. So from a decentralized point of view, we're all part of the ecosystem, and that's what your tokens will be used for. However, it's outlined specifically in the white paper, which is available on the website. Makes sense. So I'm going to click that one. Next one from Daniel Larimer. Again, I'm just going to cover Daniel Larimer while I got him here. Just a little snippet. Someone was talking about what the EOS tokens would entitle you. This was in the same conversation when he was talking about the white paper. But the tokens on a blockchain using the EOS IO software give you bandwidth, storage, and voting rights. The EOS tokens, ERC20, give you nothing other than a spot in a distribution list that someone else may use to configure the EOS or EOS.io Genesis block. Again, sometimes this lingo goes over your head, but you need to just go and read the white paper and keep researching and just keep expanding your understanding of this whole evolving sector. So EOS sounds exciting to me. I do believe that it's going to evolve and the price may only go up. Now, what's another gold nugget I got for you? Another gold nugget is, what's this got to do with Ant shares? Now, Ant shares, I've invested in Ant shares. The only way I can summarize it is similar to Ethereum, but it's going to be the Chinese version where people develop particular dApps, decentralized apps through the Ant shares platform. Okay, so I think it's pretty much going to take off at some stage. Speculation, but however, I'm just going to read this out. This was a link. Wasn't much talk about it, but I decided to just have a look. As a high-quality project of Binance Exchange, NEO will get full support from Binance. We will have NEO/BTC trading pair from day one. Our model is different from other platforms. So this is a Chinese exchange, from as far as I'm aware. NEO currently still named ANTS, because it's going to change from ANS to NEO very shortly. In your wallet will produce gas, currently still named ANC, or I think it's ANS or ANC. Periodically, if you have 10,000 NEO in your wallet, you should receive roughly 90 gas ANC in the last 30 days, which is worth about $150. As of now, most exchanges will not give you NEO gas if you put NEO on their platforms. After a discussion with the NEO team, we together decided to disrupt the status quo. Binance is going to be the first international exchange to give you your NEO gas. Binance will snapshot your NEO asset at 8 AM, which is Beijing time, every day, and issue NEO gas to your account monthly based on your holding account at that time. So it looks like it's a bit of an incentive. Get onto Binance. They're going to cover any gas for transactions. But so yeah, ANTS is going to change to NEO. Good time to get into ANTS. Actually, I bought a little bit more when the price dropped. Where's it going to go? Who knows, but it's definitely worth looking into. Ant shares, getting rid of that one. Digibyte. Look, a lot of stuff about Digibyte. Digibyte has dropped about 75% since its high back in probably about 35 days ago in May. There was no doubt that it was hitting an all-time high. Now I'm just going to go to my blockfolio for a second. Digibyte, 3 days, click a month. So in a month, it's had a 44.65% drop in a month. In 3 months, it's increased 934%. So I'm not sure if you can actually see this. Little graph there. You can see it's pretty much gone up and then it's come back down. But you know, that's pretty much been the entire crypto space. There's been definitely a retracement of around about 50% to 61%. You could say the Fibonacci ratio about 61.8. Digibyte's probably gone a little bit further than that. Now that was because of a little bit of hype and a little bit of mismanagement from just young people in the Telegram, mismanagement of their own funds really. And then there was a little bit of a domino effect. But in saying that, now I like Digibyte just for the technology really, and the community is very strong as well. But I do see a lot of legs, and now I know, because I've watched every single video. I've been on all of the YouTube, I've been in the Telegram groups. Jared Tato, who's the head dude, if you like, he does a lot of announcements, but he doesn't do any. He definitely doesn't fluff it up, and he's very, very open about not fluffing it up himself. Like Digibyte doesn't come out and just hyperinflate. Anything that's been hyperinflated has actually been by the community. So you know, and that's where the due diligence has to come into it. You've got to do your own homework to make sure that when you are investing, you're investing at the right time. But you know, lessons learned, you don't lose anything unless you sell. For me, you know, I think if it has retraced 75%, the only thing I can think of is that if you believe in this technology, it's definitely worth buying more. Before August 1, we may see another little mini dump. Who knows? I mean, we've got 15 days until this Bitcoin thing blows over, SegWit 2. If you don't know what that is, you better go and look into it. But the Digibyte thing may settle down, or the whole market may settle down after August. But, you know, when is the right time to buy? I think you've got to make this call. I've always said, you know, just buy it in bits and just try to improve your average. And I think that's the only way you can really approach it. However, in saying that, Digibyte did make a little announcement in the last, July 10. Some big new changes are coming to Digibyte soon. Stay tuned. Pretty ambiguous statement, but they don't normally come out with anything. But in their Telegram groups, they've been creating a little list of things that they're talking about. Now, what I think is going to happen, I do believe that Digibyte's going to... I've got a feeling they're going to rebrand. I don't know. I think they're going to come out with a new website, maybe a new logo, new brand, maybe launch DigiSign at the same time, maybe launch a little bit of a new direction with their gaming. Maybe they'll actually take it off. Because their website's been very stationary and stagnant, and there hasn't been a lot of development in that area. So some people have questioned it because they haven't, there's bits that are missing, there's missing information. It looks a little bit unprofessional. But I feel in the next month you'll see a completely new website, new logo, maybe some major announcements, maybe some collaborative events happening with some major interests and whatnot, which may actually solidify and justify any investment into Digibyte. But time will tell. If I'm wrong, I'm going to lose out. But I've got a good feeling that in 2 or 3 years' time, I'll be looking back at this video going, "Oh, thank God I did that." And if I'm wrong, well, that's my decision. At the end of the day, you've got to go and do your own work. I've done lots, and that's just one of the ones that I'm in. So Digibyte, got a little bit of news coming. Let's see if they do rebrand. It'll be interesting. Next thing I wanted to talk to you about was this SegWit. SegWit, okay? There's a lot of talk about the whole market not necessarily collapsing, but there's definitely a big retracement. They're talking about what's going to happen with Bitcoin. What's the price analysis? Where is it going to go? And we've seen this over the last month. Bitcoin hasn't gone to where some people had predicted. They predicted to about $4,000 and things like that. But what I wanted to do is just read out this little paragraph. In May 2017, analyst Nicola Duke predicted that a Bitcoin price of 2,800 could be the level at which Bitcoin begins its fall. She said the price is likely to hit 1,780 but could even fall as far as 1,440. We are still at the 2,000 levels. According to her Fibonacci analysis, the way bull markets typically work is that you'll have a pullback that stops when it retraces a key percentage of a percentage move higher. These percentages all come from a so-called Fibonacci ratios. One of these ratios is 61.8. I think another one's about 35 and one in the 20s. So go and look it up. There's a lot of information on that. I'm finding 50 to 60% has been fairly normal in this crypto world so far. So she expects this particular wave, known as the fourth wave, to last 61.8% of how long wave 2 lasted, which means the rally after the correction should start in January. We will see the bottom in start of January. That is when stock markets typically tend to have a correction as well. And I think she's talking about January 2018. Okay, so that's 6 months away. I think it may be a little bit earlier than that, but we'll see. But after that, there should be a sustained rally to 3,350 and then 4,480 in 2018, Duke said. So while the long-term prospect of Bitcoin seems to be positive, in the near term, traders should see a pullback. There is no cause for alarm. So yeah, it could be 6 months of just up, down, and it may just go horizontal for a period of time. And I think this is the biggest, most important part or key moment in this entire space from an investment point of view. Anyone that's investing emotionally, looking for Lamborghinis, looking for quick bucks, is definitely going to probably get burnt. Some of the traders may make some up and down wins, depending on little mini pumps and little ebbs and flows, if you want to call it that. But there's definitely money comes in and out, and I think there's a lot of emotion going in through this whole space. So over the next 6 months, I'd just be buying on the dips and just holding back and building up and getting ready for 2018 in all areas, and Bitcoin and in particular, but definitely the altcoins, because you'll make greater returns. But what are we going to see? 4,480 Bitcoin? I mean, it's all speculation. There's no doubt Bitcoin will get to these figures, I believe, in 2018 and beyond. And if you are seeing the market retrace, what it's telling you, it's an opportunity. Buy on the dip. If it goes further, buy a little bit more if you can. That's if you're really invested in this. If not, you've just got to wear the red. And if your portfolio is in the red for the next 6 months, and then by the end of 2018 you've tripled your money, or times 10, times 20 your money, or even times 100, which is highly likely and possible for numerous of these coins. Congratulations for being so patient. Patience and diligence is going to win. So next one is what I want to do. I've got a lot here, haven't I? I've got to sort of keep going, but if you're still watching, appreciate that. But here's a really good way of putting Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency world, I suppose, into perspective. So what it is, on the right-hand side here, it's got Bitcoin at around 41 billion. Now, it's dropped down. I think it's actually around about 40 billion as I speak. But there was no doubt, even with the little mini crash, I think it got down to about 33 or 32, and then the money comes back in. But the bubble, or the space, or the amount of capital that's invested into the cryptocurrency area is so small when you compare it to all the money in the world, which is about 83 trillion. Stock markets are 66.8 trillion, and don't quote me on these numbers. It's just a chart. Someone put this together, but I think you get an understanding of the broad spectrum and how small crypto is. We've got physical money at 31 trillion. We've got, who knows, I reckon it's more than that. Gold market cap at 8.2. So it has to be more than 31 trillion. We can't even audit the Fed Reserve. So how do we even know what figures are actually being pumped out? So gold market is 8.2 trillion. USD in circulation 1.5 trillion. Apple is worth 730 billion. You've got Amazon worth 402 billion. All cryptocurrencies at 100 billion. It was down to 81 beginning of this week. So it's moving around 20 billion. It's been as high as 115. So there's a 30-40 billion slosh, if you like, which is quite significant, because that's 20-30%, if not more, of that whole entire space. Bill Gates is worth 86 billion alone. To one person is worth 86 billion, and you've got Larry Page at 41 billion, and there's numerous others. So if you're in crypto space, and I think that it's completely different to stock market. It's completely different to any of these particular financial instruments or industries in regards to how to perceive value. Now, if you've got a perceived value on a stock market, which comes down to fundamentals, profit and loss, when you compare it to a cryptocurrency or a token, I think you're going to find that it's a completely different space. A lot of the cryptocurrencies, or the currencies that are going to be used more often, so maybe like the Dashes, the Bitcoins, the LITECOINs, any of those, are definitely going to probably inflate to a higher level than some of maybe the product specific blockchains. And like I invested in Bowhead Health, which is a health device. I can't see it having the same market cap as, say, one of the currencies. And that's where you've got to identify where to put your money when in regards to the investment. But overall, the whole cryptocurrency space, and Bitcoin, if you want to look at it separately, is minute. So what's going to happen over the next 2 or 3 years? We're going to see that climb the ladder. It's at 100 billion. It's going to pass, I do believe, Amazon and Apple, and even the USD in regards to circulation within the next, I'd like to say 12 months, but 24, 3 years sounds more reasonable. But who knows, if mainstream gets on this and starts pumping it, or there's a chain reaction in human consciousness in regards to cryptocurrencies, you may find that this whole space just blows out of proportion, out of control, and money. And if there's a financial collapse, as a lot of people do suspect will happen in 2018, or a transition or something, a disruption, if you want to call it that, or a recession, whatever, I think it's going to definitely, you probably find a lot of people are going to go into gold, silver, probably buy physical something, whether it's property, and I think a lot of money is going to go into cryptos, definitely into Bitcoin and things like that. So let's keep your hat on. There's my token, keep your hat on. But yeah, if you're ready and you're in, I think you're going to make a very, 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 very healthy return, and that's why I'm pretty much going pretty hard at this whole space. So that one, bring it into perspective. Now, I found this quite funny. This young fellow here in the background. Now, this is Miss Yellen. I think this is yesterday or a couple of days ago. She's trying. I think they were questioning or talking about auditing the Fed at this particular moment. Now, she's come out this week talking about we're never going to have a recession ever again. The financial markets will never collapse ever again because we've changed legislation or something, which is a load of hogwash. They have no control over how markets operate, because the energy of economics is all about emotion and trust and faith. It has nothing to do with legislation. You know, if people don't want to invest their money in one space, they're definitely going to move it out. So, you know, and when we've got bubbles like derivatives and housing bubbles and the economic and the debt that's across this world, there's no doubt that we're going to see a massive collapse of some sort, which is pretty scary to think. But in saying that, this little fella in the background took this opportunity. He's pretty ingenious, and I'm just going to press play. Oh, there it is. Sorry, the volume's not on there. She was talking about something a bit bullshitting through her teeth about auditing the Fed, but this guy's taken up the opportunity to be able to put a little buy Bitcoin sign over his shoulder. There was a quick cut in the footage, and pretty funny. And I think Bitcoin actually had a little bit of a surge after that, but who knows if it was because of this, but it was on mainstream. And that's the type of thing I'm talking about. You know, that quite a few hundreds of thousands or probably millions of viewers, and even because that's probably gone viral as well on YouTube and Facebook. There's no doubt that's a little bit of awareness. So this is where Bitcoin comes into it. Bitcoin's definitely going to get more attention over there's some of the alts, but when Bitcoin does well, so does the alts. That's the simple rule. So that's all I wanted to share with you. There are all my gold nuggets. I've got one over here. What was it? It's got to do with the SegWit. LTC is surprisingly resilient, kind of crazy. Bitcoin miners would have to be fools to not switch to SegWit fork. I think it'll go over very smoothly, and BTC will be back to its highs for the year by the end of the year. I have nothing to back this other than my own common sense, and I think that's a pretty good statement to make. This SegWit thing's going to blow over on the 1st of August, I really do. 26th to the 1st of August might see some crazy trading. Some people do make emotional decisions, so you might find that we might have a big dump. If that happens, get your money ready, get your BTC ready on the exchanges to buy some cryptos at a pretty good price. And then I think in the 2nd, 3rd week of August, when it all sort of settles down and everyone realises the world's still spinning, or still here, you know, life will continue, and you'll find that the money will start coming back in to the space, and probably very, very aggressively. So that's all I got to share with you guys. Some gold nuggets. I might do this again when I do see something. I'm going to grab it and then I'll share it with you. But thanks for watching, and tune in to my next video.